Okay, here we go for our June income report. This is how much money I made this past month running my business full time. I told you guys this has been an up down year for me so far, and June was no exception. Hey, what's up guys? This is Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free and possibly running your own business. So in these episodes, I talk about how much money I've earned within the month running Debt Free Millennials full time. I am celebrating my 5-year anniversary of running this business. And so let's go ahead and hop into my income report and I'll tell you exactly how much I made. First things first, my client work. I'm kind of renaming this client work so that it includes my freelancing and my sponsorship projects. To me, it's all content that I produce with a other business in mind, and it's a business that I love helping to promote and create content for. So for the month of June, I brought in $3,175. Affiliates brought in $693. I've mentioned this in the past. This year, affiliate marketing has kind of just been on autopilot. I have not been focused on that because the focus really has been on the sponsorships. And then also I had been writing the Investing for Kids book that will be out later this year. So that has taken up majority of my time. So I'm really glad to see that affiliate marketing is still bringing in steady income for me. Digital products brought in $524. This was a higher month on the digital product side because I have been heavily promoting Budget Bootcamp. So Budget Bootcamp is my private one-on-one budget coaching program where you and I work in a private setting on Zoom on your financial goals. We kind of map out a plan for your money, get you from stressed to confident again with your finances. So that is always linked below in the description box for you to check out. And because I've been promoting that more on Instagram, I have seen more signups and I love it. It's one of my favorite things. I love working on Budget Bootcamp and meeting with all of you guys and just hearing your stories and really seeing the transformation from the time that we start working together to the end of the program. So it's a 3-month program. I love having this as part of my digital products offerings, and so that contributed to the $524. YouTube brought in $2,380. This was up $80 from what I usually receive. So I love seeing that this was a higher income month on the YouTube ads side, which brings our total to $6,772 for the month of June. Now this was a lot lower than May. And so again, I'm still going on this trend of like up, down, up, down, up, down, which means hopefully in August I have a higher income month. Let's go ahead and hop over to my expenses and I'll show you my business budget and what I spent money on. Okay, so the revenue, as I mentioned, was $6,772. What actually hit my bank account was $11,696.90, and that was really money that was being billed in May that also hit my account in June. I had $1,461.39 of expenses. That's a lot higher than what I typically have, and I'll tell you why. There are 3 big expenses that I am paying for currently. The first one are my WeWork days. So I ended up signing on for a 6-month commitment with WeWork, and that upped the cost from what I was paying before. So they had kind of a promo that they were running of $150 for 3 months. And as I was approaching the end of that 3-month contract, they reached out to me and asked me to sign a 6-month commitment. The price for the 6-month commitment that was offered to me was $300, and I negotiated it down to $265 for 6 months. So now that's going into effect. So my WeWork membership is actually more expensive. So I'm trying to take advantage of my WeWork days as much as possible by going in there and seeing the benefits of what it feels like to have my own dedicated workspace and just kind of be away and out of the house. I also spent $495 on my amazing editing team, Edit Video. They do all of my videos and they have been doing that for over 6 months now. I don't know. You guys tell me. I can't remember when we first started working together. But Edit Video has been amazing. I will link to them below if you want to check them out. If you're interested in starting a YouTube channel, you need any other editing needs, they are your people. I also spent $157 for thumbnails. So I have somebody who does my thumbnails. I really feel like this year I'm slowly adding the pieces to scale up my business by outsourcing things that are taking up a lot of my time so that I can focus on the things that I love. And I'm learning that the things that I love are really creating the content. And I'm getting more of that now by outsourcing the things that were sucking up all of my time. All right, so with the SEP IRA contribution of $1,000 minus the expenses, the pre-tax total was $92.35. I had to set aside $3,325, which was just transferred today, to set aside for my quarterly tax payment, which I am paying July 15th. So the after-tax take-home for this month was $5,910. All right, let's go ahead and talk about my wins. Now, I've been working with a teammate that I have also pulled into the business who is helping me with contracts and timelines for new sponsorship opportunities, and she has been fabulous. She is helping me with some new sponsorship gigs that are kind of in the works right now, which typically means emailing back and forth, setting meetings, and kind of negotiating what that sponsorship campaign looks like. So there are some deals in the works, and fingers crossed that that becomes really profitable for August. I also saw an 8% growth on Instagram. This is nuts, you guys, because I had 0.2% growth on Instagram for literally 2 years. So the thing that is really helping me with my Instagram growth are Reels. Instagram Reels have been so great for me. I really love making them. I love doing short form video, and I feel like I'm finding a rhythm on Instagram with that by posting about anywhere between 3 to 5 reels per week. So that has been contributing tremendously. Also, with that said, now that I can see what's working and not working on Instagram and kind of getting that all put together, now I can shift my focus. Because we're in Q3, I can shift my focus to TikTok. So I have a TikTok account now. If you're not following me over there, just look up Debt Free Millennials. Go ahead and follow me on TikTok. I have a couple of videos on there already, but I really want to keep testing out that platform. As of today, I have just over 100 followers on TikTok. I really want to see that scale to like 1,000 is my goal, to have 1,000 followers, but I have to be intentional with TikTok and posting a lot. So I've been brainstorming some content this afternoon. So I just need to get in there, film, and start testing it out and seeing what works. I know that if I can boost my numbers on TikTok, that is only going to add to the whole portfolio of what I've got going on for Debt Free Millennials. I've got you guys in this amazing YouTube community. Instagram is doing really well. And now if I can add TikTok, I feel like that's just going to round out the brand in terms of where I'm publishing content. Also, another win, and I don't know if I mentioned this last month, but I've been reading this book called The Productivity Project, and it has been so cool to utilize the tips and tricks from that book in how I am operating throughout my day. So the author talks about finding the period of time in your day when you have the most energy. And I find when I have the most energy is typically between the hours of 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. During that time, that's my peak working time. And the guy says to focus on your high impact tasks during that time because you have the most energy. Leave your low impact tasks. For me, that would be like scheduling stuff, kind of YouTube maintenance, email newsletters, that sort of thing, outside of that time frame when you have the least amount of energy. He also recommends to just focus on 2 to 3 tasks that you want to accomplish that day. Only focus on those 2 to 3 tasks for the day. If you get them complete, great, you can move on and add more tasks to your plate. But if you add anything more than that, you typically get paralysis analysis and then you don't complete anything. Just by doing those two things of working on my high impact tasks during my high energy peak hours and only focusing on accomplishing 2 to 3 tasks in the day has like transformed how I am running my day-to-day with DFM, and I can see where I needed to focus on things like just coming up with content and topic ideas for YouTube videos. I wasn't doing any of that previously, and YouTube is my main platform. I have to come up with topics to research, and so now I'm spending more time researching. Another thing that he talked about. Okay, so 3 big takeaways from this book already. I'm not even finished with it. Another thing is if there is a task that feels like there's not a clear finish line or it's a little ambiguous, to set a timer. Now, for me, an ambiguous task is researching content ideas for YouTube, because content can come from anywhere. It can come from the news, talking to a friend, just seeing something outside that reminds me of something related to personal finance. And so setting a timer of how long I think it will take and then cutting that time in half has been so helpful to get me to complete those tasks even faster. So I will leave a link to the productivity project down below for you to check out this book. I found that it's been really easy to read because he also includes how long it'll take you to read each section and gives you the key takeaways and then action items at the end of each chapter for you to kind of test out your own productivity experiments. Okay, now let's talk about my obstacles. There's always some challenges every single month, and I think this past month I have been really trying to navigate negotiating my rates with some older clients, and really that's just a reflection of where my brand is going, and also just valuing my worth and knowing my worth and asking for that. And so that's been a challenge for me because I am such a people pleaser, and I also don't want to tarnish any existing relationships by asking for more money, and also kind of getting the nudge to say like, hey, you actually are worth what you are charging and more, so why not ask for this and show like, hey, this is a value to you, and let's pay for that value. So that's been kind of a challenge for me in trying to figure out like that dance, like that delicate dance of making sure the partnership and the relationship with the client is still a really positive one, and also, you know, getting the value and my worth out of it. Another thing that I'm noticing in terms of obstacles, because I'm kind of shifting away from some freelancing stuff and really focusing on my own brand with Debt Free Millennials, is I need to have a sponsorship outreach system in place. In other words, I want to systematize how I'm reaching out to sponsorships and making sure that I have a rhythm on that follow-up. So a lot of times there are sponsorships and brands that reach out to me. I get tons of emails in my inbox all day long asking me to promote various fintech apps or various products. A lot of them I say no to, and other ones I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I've never heard of that. I'm definitely interested in learning more about this particular app or tool that I think could help you all. Also, I find brands on my own where I'm like, I would love to work with that brand, and I want to put in a system where I'm reaching out to them. And so trying to figure that out, what's the best method and approach for that? That's still something that I'm fine-tuning and just kind of getting my feet wet into doing. All right, so those are my wins, obstacles, the income, and the expenses. What did you think about this month? Give this video a big thumbs up. If you aren't subscribed, please do so. It helps out my channel a lot. And I will catch you next month for another income report. Bye.